What's up, y'all? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment. Here again with another one, man. Hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notifications too. Now, Russ, as you know, has agreed with the Lakers that, next season they're going to go ahead, they're going to move him and, or by next season, rather. He wants out of LA. Um, what's up, True Viking? As always, gotta respect the Queen. Russ is my favorite player. But one thing that I do on my channel is I do keep things objective, and I try to take the personal feelings out of, unless it's just straight up nonsense. Now, for Russ, I knew that it wasn't going to work out when he initially came to LA. He got a rude awakening. He found out that the LA market, the bright lights of LA, is not the same as OKC. It's not the same as a Houston, and it's not the same as Washington. And really, I don't feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for Russ. Now, all right, what's up, Daquan Adams? But you're gonna have to, man. You're gonna have to say you're gonna have to say sorry to True Viking because you stood her up today. You were claiming that you could come in and you were gonna come on the panel, and you said you could cook the queen, which I highly doubt because I know she'll be able to hold her. The queens on this channel, they hold their own. I'm just gonna tell you that straight up. And listen, when they come on the panel, man, they're not coming on no panel to spit no BS. But dog, all I'm saying is respect my channel, man. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind heated debates or anything like that. But you really got to put logic to what and I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about anybody. What's up with it, Mike? Now, Russ is my favorite player, but we have to be honest about something, okay? His play has taken a step back. You knew that was going to happen because for a while there were some people that would call Russ the smaller version of LeBron with less intellect, if that makes any sense. Because him and LeBron, they're very ball dominant. They play similar and everything, but the only difference is that Russ Russ is he goes his recklessness is a out of control recklessness. Now he's settled down much further. If you go back and you go look at Russ how he played, especially coming out of UCLA, you'll see a difference in he. I mean, he didn't even have a jump shot. Oh yeah, man. Look, I don't take any of this stuff personal. You know, um, I don't have anything personal against. against any of the players. But the one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to call a player trash on this channel. I don't call any NBA player trash or bust or anything because I know what it takes. I know how hard you have to work. Unfortunately, I didn't make it. You know, but if you make it to the NBA, NFL, MLB, boxing, any professional sport, you got to salute them. The sorriest NBA player that you feel is sorry or that is trash could come to your city league and probably put up 80. So you got to think about what you're saying. I'm not talking about you in particular, Daquan. I'm talking about anybody. So that's why, like, I'm always objective in what I say and what I do. When this trade happened, I told him Westbrook, and you're right about that. You're right about that. Daquan, look, when the trade had happened, LVZ NBA Talk goes up to his channel. He told everybody it's a stupid idea, and you had everybody in there literally trying to debate him and deflect him and say, "Oh, it's gonna work," yada yada yada. I was even like kind of optimistic a little bit, but then I started seeing how things were, uh, the movement on the court, uh, you know, players being injured. Now, the thing that holds Russ up and sets everybody apart from him is his durability. That's one thing that you can't question about Russell Westbrook is his durability and his availability. You know, but he was gonna get like Daquan Adams was saying. You're on point with it. He was gonna be the punching bag, like Two Ross said. He was gonna be the human punching bag. He was gonna be the doormat. He was gonna be the guy, the fall guy, to take the blame for everything. And unfortunately, he got exposed. Now, I don't agree with everybody when they were saying, "Oh, he's always played like this" and all this other stuff. No, he Russ has played much better. You know, he's played much better because you got to think the Washington Wizards, they were playing poorly and they got damn near to the bottom of the East, and with the combination of him and Bradley Beal, because Bradley Beal was second leading scorer last year, they were able to work themselves back up into being in the playoffs. So you got to give him his respect in that regard, and they were working with what they had. But I think the thing for Russ was him going to LA, and the immense amount of pressure. You know, I think it got to him. It got to him, being that he's from there. But he shot himself in the foot when he was saying, well, getting into it with fans, and or if you don't like it, you could, get up out of here and all this other stuff. And then you're saying, you have a wife, you got kids and all this other stuff. Well, yeah, all that's fine, but Lakers fans unfortunately don't see it that way. They don't see it that way. It's championship or bust. Listen, yes, okay. There are some lunatics like stupid fans and idiots that send death threats to Danny Green when he misses a shot, or there's courtside Karens that talk about LeBron James. What's up with it? What's up with it, Jose? I see you in the building, bro. Make sure y'all go subscribe to my boy Jose Rodriguez. Make sure you go subscribe to that boy. You said I could tell best game as a Laker, LeBron. I believe I was playing. Yeah. You said I could see on the court rush style doesn't fit on the Lakers. Better stand with the Wizard. Well, the thing the let me see. I hate how they say he was bad in Houston, but he shoot the best of his career in Houston. And they don't mention how he had a rip quad in that playoff, which you, yeah, that's facts right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He actually from a statistical standpoint, he shot a lot better. Now, um he actually deferred to James Harden when he was in Houston, and he was a harder worker, and he even had to put James Harden, his friend, on blast because James Harden was the one that was lacking, not Russ. Now, look, I don't like the fact, some of the other stuff that he's done off the court and stuff like that. I'm not gonna talk about it. Like, the wearing the skirts and stuff like that. I wasn't too pleased about that. But I'm trying to focus on his game, because see, when we start talking about something like that, then you have to wonder, oh, okay, conspiracies and all of that other stuff. And I don't really want to get in it to any of that. But the thing about it though is that Russ, is and he didn't work on certain aspects of his game. He worked on his shooting and stuff, and his shooting has gotten better. But the mental side of everything too, he still struggles with, because if you're in the NBA or if you play any sport, part of sports is the crowd and the fans. Now, I'm all for fans, heckling you, and when it comes to basketball, saying you're trash, or you can't make that shot, or oh, come on, man, you can do better than that, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing wrong with that, because that's a part of the game. But a lot of, to Russ's defense, and even to LeBron's defense, when it gets personal, when you're talking about people's kids, and you know, making making gestures about their personal life, or anybody that's amongst their family or something like that, then that's where you draw the line. And look, we don't know. There might have been much more that was said, but I don't agree with LeBron when he's saying, "Okay, yeah, well, there needs to be a soundproof booth and all this other stuff to uh, for the fans and stuff like that." Then you're taking the aspect of the game out of there that's been there. That's a part of history. Now you got to place yourself. Now, I just got through talking to a couple of the brothers about Will Chamberlain, about that era. You got to think about it. Those guys were playing in a much more hostile environment. They were having to deal with racism, segregation. They were having to deal with, much less, the type of shoes that they were wearing. Then on top of that, messed up conditions. Then on top of that, you got to, people were allowed to smoke in arenas back in those days and stuff like that. And then you could imagine what they were saying, from a racial standpoint. These guys were getting spit on. These guys were getting stuff thrown at them and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you go to, like a and stuff like that. So if you can't handle certain trash talk that a casual fan is saying, a fan that probably works hard and just wants to see the effort and enthusiasm, then that falls on you. Well, I mean, Daquan, see, listen, I'm not going to say all hope is lost, but like I said, Russell Westbrook should have played like how he played when he was on the Olympics. If you go back and you go watch the interviews and they talk about Russell Westbrook on the Olympics team when they won that gold medal with Kobe and all of them, Krzyzewski will tell you uh, nothing but high praises about Russ. Kobe will tell you nothing but high praises about Russ. Even LeBron, nothing but high praises about Russ on that U.S. Olympic team. And guess what he was used for? He was used for defense, to be out in transition and to get quick buckets and everything. And he played well. He played well. He was on his best behavior. And that's what he needed to do when he was with the Lakers. Just focus on defense and don't focus on anything else. Y'all want on a guy like James Harden, it's because it's because of the turnovers. That's what I was trying to tell Daquan earlier. I said, look, yeah, Maxi, Harden played good, but he still had 3 turnovers, and he led the league in turnovers. Well, Russ did the same thing. Russ will have like a triple double and all that other stuff, but he'll have a whole bunch of turnovers. That doesn't make that. Listen, your assist to turnover ratio is a very important thing when you a very important aspect of your game when you especially when you're talking about the point guard position. It's more important than your 3 point percentage and all that other stuff. They want to know what type of assist to turnover ratio that you have. And John Stockton, even at the age of 40, had the highest assist to turnover ratio in history at that age. So if Stockton could do it at 40 years of age, I don't want to hear any excuses. And you're barely 31, 32 years old. I don't want to hear about any of the excuses about, oh, yeah, well, they're old and all this other stuff. The Lakers are not old. They're really not. Um, Especially when you consider some of the older teams that have came before them. I could go on and on and on. I've mentioned them before. Salute Don Lovato. Was able to Lakers 7. So yeah, we already talked about Chamberlain earlier. Them Philly fans popcorn on Westbrook. Yeah, I remember that. That was so stupid. And they threw a bottle at Kyrie Irving's, damn near hit him in his eye because you got to remember he had a scratched cornea. Russ played way different than he did with the Lakers. Well, I mean, Don Lovato, look, we knew that it was not going to work out, but LeBron has came out and said he's not going to give up. I mean, I like what you're saying, but really, the greats they didn't say anything. Okay, Lovato, you're a Lakers fan. You're Adams and True Viking Queen. You're Russell Westbrook fan. Stephen Green, you're a Sixers fan. I'll give you prime examples. When Charles Barkley had came into the league, I'll just talk about the Sixers. Moses Malone had criticized him and said, "You are too fat." Guess what he did? He got in shape. He didn't say anything to anybody. He piped down, got focused, and came back better, and became one of the transcendent power forwards of of his era. And I would say he spilled into a lot of other eras too. They take a lot from Charles Barkley, whether you want to believe it or not. He there's a lot of people that took from Charles Barkley. Like I saw a lot of Blake Griffin, or a lot of Charles Barkley and Blake Griffin when he first came in. Now let's talk about the Lakers. Magic Johnson, he could not shoot. He was a good scorer. Uh, could get to the basket. Magic would dunk on you every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Uh, could pass the ball, had a handle and everything. But what did they do? The Boston Celtics, they exposed him, and they figured out that he could not shoot. Well, guess what? He spent all summer with Pat Riley and a couple of other Lakers getting it right because they called him Tragic Johnson. Came back, had that set shot going. It wasn't the prettiest shot, but he made it. And guess what? He ended up shooting over 80% from the free throw line. Next up, you got Kareem. Everybody thinks that, Kareem never had any flaws and all this other stuff. Oh boy. Hey, Kareem made his mistakes too. And he made his mistakes that year against, I forget which year it was, when he played terrible and they lost. And he got criticized heavily. People were talking about, oh, is it over for Kareem? He needs to retire. He's too old. Came back the very next year, a year older, and defied the odds and played much better in that very next finals. He didn't say anything to anybody. He just got right back to work. Pat Riley had criticized him, the whole Lakers. Listen, what I'm saying is that Kobe had to go through it. When Kobe shot the air balls, right? He shot both of those air balls. And and those were terrible decisions. Now Dale Harris, he threw him out in the fire and everything. You know what I'm saying? But that was great for Kobe. And guess what? He lived in the gym, came back better and better every single year. So what I'm saying is that if Kareem went through it, Kobe went through it, even Wilt, he went through it, Magic went through it, James Worthy went through it. All the Lakers that went through it. They went through everything that you're going through. LA is gonna be LA, and it's not changing. And the fans have expectations. They have expectations, but the three E's that I mentioned were enthusiasm, effort, and energy. That's what they want to see. Even if you lose, go down fighting. Yeah, it was the '85 finals. Yeah, and everybody thinks that they just forget about James Worthy. James Worthy, if you really want to be honest, he was the one that actually, uh, in my opinion, he was the most consistent in all the finals that they made. You got to realize James Worthy was the finals MVP, but they don't talk about that. James Worthy was all over the floor. James Worthy played defense. James Worthy could be counted upon. You know how Giannis plays now. I'm not saying that they play exactly alike, but I mean James Worthy was athletic. James Worthy could handle the ball. James Worthy could get to the rack. James Worthy could shoot a little bit. Now was he shooting from 40 and all of that other stuff? No, but James Worthy could pretty much do everything. And they had a whole bunch of Swiss Army knives on that Lakers team. Man, what's up, Big Who? You barely come in here anymore, man. It's all good though. I'm not tripping. Uh, yeah, I remember Don Lovato, but he wasn't my favorite Laker on there. I would say he was my second favorite Laker. I used to like James Worthy, man, cause James Worthy was tough, man. He was tough, bro. But my favorite Laker was Michael Cooper. That was my favorite Laker, hands down. And he's getting ready to go in the Hall of Fame. It's about time. Long overdue. Long overdue. He should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. You just now putting a guy like Coop in there. I mean, he made the position. Well, I'm not gonna say the position. He made the 3 and D specialist pretty much a household name. Yeah, Michael Cooper. Michael Cooper, Mono Ginobili, Tim Hardaway. They're nominees, man. A couple of others. No, well, I like I know I mean I like that. I like the era, like the Showtime era and stuff like that, because I used to watch a lot of tapes. I would watch a lot of film and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like and I would be fascinated, but I wasn't like a Lakers fan. Yeah, I'm just a basketball fan. I'm not like, I don't get into it that hardcore. Like, oh yeah, well, I absolutely hate that team. You know what I'm saying? To where I'm finna start fighting at a bar or something like that over a goddamn team. I'm not gonna do that. But yes, I like Michael Cooper because of what he did. Even though he got dunked on, by Dr. J, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you he was a defensive god, man. Yeah, Coop, man. Listen, if you take Coop off of that team, 9 times out of 10, you're not winning. Everybody thinks that, and look, I like Kareem, I like Magic and everything, but if you take Worthy and you take Worthy off of those teams, with the exception of like 79, and all of that, you know what I'm saying? You're not winning. You're not winning anything. That those guys right there, man, are extremely important, man, because they can lock up pretty much anybody. And people forget that. I think people get this assumption that James Worthy is like 6'6" or something like that. Man, James Worthy is like 6'11". He's like 6'11", man. He's a giant. Robert Horry is damn near 7 foot. You and the way that they move, but they move like guards. I got a cousin like that, man. He's like 6'8", 6'9", but the nigga moves so great. Nigga feet is unbelievable. Thanks for letting us know that, Don Lovato. You coming with your trivia today, man. Did you know? Did you know that Michael Cooper Played at the University of New Mexico, Lobos. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Don Lovato's a historian. You would have liked it earlier because uh Daryl Sloan was in here and we were talking about Wilt Chamberlain. But y'all pull up a little bit later, man. Well, in a few minutes, I'm getting ready to go ahead and call the game. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment, man. I'll get at y'all in a little bit.